Welcome to this live chat facility tutorial. We have had a lot of questions recently about the chat facility and how to use it, so let's get into the video. The chat facility is built with students in mind, with a tool that doesn't need to be parent or teacher led. Each of our pages are linked to the person behind the broadcast, even after it's finished, so you can always ask your questions and get a response about the broadcast. So, let's have a look at how to use the chat facility. To use the chat facility, the first thing to do is to type your comment or question into the chat box. You can now enter your screen name. Your screen name will show when you type your question or comment. Now you will see the chat facility ask for your email address. As I mentioned before, each of our pages are linked to people from the organisation who can reply to your questions. You can enter your email address, which will not be shared with anyone, to get a direct response from the people behind the broadcast. If you do not want a direct response, then click the button at the bottom. People behind the broadcast can still respond to you if you don't provide your email address. This just means you may have to come back to the page to check the response. To type your question, simply click on the chat box. You will then see two symbols appear. The @ symbol will mean your comment or question will be posted publicly for others to see. The email symbol means your comment or question can be sent directly to the person of your choice from the list that will appear. You can now speak to the people behind the broadcast and ask any questions you may have, or check out our partner pages to see the companies we work with who you can speak to right now about their current vacancies. You can also check out our careers page, which connects you to employers. Our live chat service is linked 24/7 to employers from a wide range of sectors, all waiting to hear from you. You can leave a question about how to produce a professional CV or how to prepare for interviews, anything work related, and one of our businesses will respond to you directly. You can also access a wide variety of live interactive broadcasts and video on demand with the live chat support on all pages. Now, this bit is for the parents, guardians, and teachers. The best bit about the live chat facility is that it is completely moderated, so you don't need to worry if your young person leaves a silly comment, as it will only show on their screen and no one else's. Another great thing about the chat facility is that it is GDPR protected, so no information is shared with anyone else. We will protect all email addresses and will never share personal information of the young people. If you have any questions about the chat facility or the Learn Live channel, please use the email us icon at the top of the page. Thank you, stay safe and stay tuned.
So we're joined by Dr. Hickman. We're just going to talk now about flu vaccines, which you probably have seen a lot about in the press right now. It's coming up very soon, that time of year again, to get your vaccination. So to help us and talk us through that and why it's so important, as I say, we've been joined by Dr. Hickman. Hello, Doctor.
Hi Stuart, thank you for having me. So my name is Dr. Catherine Hickman. I'm a GP working in Bradford, and I'm also respiratory lead for West Yorkshire and Harrogate.
Fantastic. Well, thanks so much for joining us on the Learn Live channel. And then, we were talking off air earlier about such an important time of year normally, but probably more important than ever to get the flu vaccination. But before we get into that, just explain what the flu vaccination does and why is it important for people to have it in the first place.
Yeah, so the flu vaccine is important because obviously it protects you against flu, and we know from the figures in the past that it has been extremely effective at stopping you get flu. And I suppose the thing is that sometimes we can think of flu as being quite a mild thing, and for some people it may be mild, but for others it can be a very serious illness, particularly in young children, so those under the age of 5, and also people that have long-term conditions such as asthma or diabetes. They can get a more serious form, and also elderly people as well. And it's not just about getting a bit of a cold or a cough. It feels almost like sometimes it affects every single cell in your body, and you can feel washed out and really, really ill. And that's why it's so important to get the flu jab this year.
Yeah, and it's an annual event, isn't it? So it's not something that if you've had it last year, you're okay for this year. It's usually it happens each year, doesn't it, that people get vaccinations?
Yes, exactly, because the flu strain changes every year, so it's important that you get a new vaccine each year to protect you from that particular strain that's circulating.
No, you said earlier we were saying with people, people still might get flu, but the idea is you get a milder dose if you do get it. Is that right?
Yeah, or it may protect you from getting it altogether. And that's what, we have figures that, well over 80% of people that had the flu jab didn't get flu.
Brilliant. Okay, so what other? I mean, is there any side effects to this? Because obviously people are worried, aren't they, about vaccinations generally? I mean, how safe is this? I mean, it's been going on now for a number of years. In your experience, is it as safe as it can be, really?
Yes, very safe, and it's certainly something that I get as a healthcare professional, and also I make sure my kids get it every year as well. With the nasal flu, which is obviously taken by the nose, it is actually a live vaccine, but a very, very mild dose of the actual flu strain, and some people do get some side effects, but they are extremely mild. So they might get a little bit of a runny nose, tickly throat, maybe some tiredness, and a bit of loss of appetite, but extremely rare. With the flu injections, it's not a live vaccine. It's a dead vaccine. So the side effects really are localized to the injection site. So a bit of soreness, maybe a bit of redness, but you shouldn't get flu symptoms from the flu jab. Some people do report them, but it's probably just coincidence that they were going to get ill anyway, and they happen to have had the flu jab 1 or 2 days before, but it's not related to the actual injection.
Thank you. And can I just check, who decides on who's going to have the nasal spray and who's going to have the actual injection? Is it you, the doctor, or is it the patient themselves?
Well, in general, I mean, the guidance comes out from NHS England and the government, and for children, they will be offered the nasal flu preparation.
You're really making the point here today that everybody really should take this injection or take this vaccination on board, more importantly than ever this year.
Yes, because health is so important, and although flu can be mild, it can be a very serious illness, particularly in children who are under the age of 5, and they may end up in hospital, and on rare occasions it can be fatal.
So we met with you just as schools are going into lockdown at the beginning of this year, kind of March time. Obviously, very serious situation at the time, and it still continues to be a problem with COVID in the community. From a doctor's perspective, you're probably more keen than ever for people to have the flu vaccination, because like you mentioned earlier, the perfect storm of having COVID in the community and flu. What is the issues if people maybe don't have the vaccination? What's potentially could happen here?
Yeah, there are a number of issues. So I suppose if you get the flu, your immune system is weakened, and you're potentially more likely to get COVID on top of that. So you're getting the double whammy of flu and COVID. Also, if you've not had the flu vaccine, it's difficult to tell if you become unwell again, whether it's flu or COVID. So if you've had the flu vaccine and you're unwell, it's less likely to be flu, and we may be thinking more along the COVID lines. But it's just so important that we do everything as individuals, but also as communities, to try and get ourselves in the best health possible, so that if you do get COVID, then you have a better chance of recovering from it. But actually, if you're putting yourself at risk by not getting the flu jab, you also put yourself at risk potentially of getting a more serious double whammy of the flu and the COVID at the same time.
Which nobody wants to do, and obviously you're
No.
very worried about that. I know, as a doctor, what could happen there. So obviously when we met you in March, we talked about people with asthma as well, and equally this is just as important, if not more, to get those flu vaccinations. Is there anything you want to say to people with asthma, again, just to remind them about their asthma management in light of what's been happening and what's going to happen as we enter the flu season?
Yeah, so it absolutely is about getting the flu jab if you have asthma, to put yourself at the least risk of becoming more unwell if you do get the flu. But it's also important, as I said earlier, about making sure that you are in tip-top health this winter. And the most important thing that you can do if you do have asthma is to take your regular steroid preventer medication either morning and night or once a day, if that's the preparation that you've got. And to always have your reliever, which is normally a blue inhaler, with you at all times, and to be aware that if you are using that more than 3 times a week, it's a sign that your asthma is poorly controlled, and it's really important that you do talk to your nurse and doctor as soon as possible so they can get you back on track and back on making sure that your asthma is as well controlled as it can be.
Great, this is fine. I just want to check finally on what people can do regarding the flu. Now, normally people will get a letter, I guess, from their local authority or from the NHS telling them what to do, and that process that should be happening now, shouldn't it?
Yeah, so letters will be sent home for the consent forms for the parents. But if there is more information that you want, then there are websites on the NHS that you can read about a little bit more into what the vaccine is made up of, and also how it's given and who gets it. But there will also almost certainly be information on the GP website as well about availability of vaccine and when flu clinics are going to be run and how to book appointments, because it will be different this year. It won't just be about sort of turning up in a walk-in surgery. It will much more likely be booked appointments as well. So that's important that you find out how you're going to get the vaccine and where.
And for children in primary schools and year 7s in secondary schools, will they be administered at the school itself, Dr. Hickman?
Yes, they will be. But if they get missed, there will either be a catch-up programme at school, or you will be able to get that at your GP surgery as well.
So the important message here is that no one should be left behind. Everybody should be getting the vaccination if they want it.
Yes. And also at pharmacists as well, will be also providing vaccines.
Perfect. Okay. And just finally, I mean, just as as a plea really from a doctor to the community as to why it's so important more than ever this year to consider it. What would you want to say to members of the public, children in schools, parents today on Learn Live?
Yeah, so the most important thing is to protect yourself by getting your flu vaccine this year if you are eligible for it. It's not only about protecting yourself from potential serious consequences of flu, but also if you do get a milder version and you pass that on to somebody who has a long-term condition or is an elderly relative, you put them at serious risk of complications from the flu. But also we know that COVID is around as well, and if you have both flu and COVID at the same time, you are putting yourself much more at risk of serious consequences and potentially ending up in hospital, or worst case scenario, a fatality.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for joining us here on the Learn Live channel. Stay safe, and hopefully we can see you again on the other side of all of this and see how the flu vaccination programme has gone. But thanks for your help today explaining why it's so important to have the flu vaccination in 2020. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the Learn Live channel and today's Safe and Sound broadcast. Safe and Sound is a project set up by Staffordshire Fire and Rescue Service with the aim to support communities to make informed and positive lifestyle choices, improving their health, safety and well-being with some safety tips and tricks. This project runs a variety of interactive and practical workshops for people of all ages and is delivered by multiple partners and agencies such as Tamworth Borough Council, Network Rail, Staffordshire Wildlife Trust and GIST. But first, before we begin, please remember that if you have any questions, please use the live chat next to the video player. If you leave a question on the chat, one of our speakers will get back to you as soon as possible. So now I'll be handing over the rest of the broadcast to Ellie. Ellie is on the team at Learn Live and will be taking you through today's Safe and Sound broadcast. Over to you, Ellie.
Thank you, Stuart. Hello everybody, welcome to Safe and Sound on Learn Live. Thank you for joining us today. This week we have, in no particular order, Tamworth Borough Council, Network Rail, Staffordshire Wildlife Trust and the GIST team. As usual, I will be asking you a question after each topic and hopefully you or your teacher can enter your answer in the live chat area of the screen, together with your school name. Answers later, of course. So, let's get started with Andy talking about animals and litter.
Right, hello everyone, it's Andrew Smith, Tamworth Borough Council again for the second talk since the summer break. Out and about again, as you can see, and today we're doing a bit of an extension on the litter and the environment talk we did last week. What we're going to do about today is talking about litter again, but how it particularly affects animals and our wildlife. Because sadly it does. We've got a lot of nice parks and play areas in Tamworth, Burton, Staffordshire area, and there's a lot of wildlife that uses them. We've got foxes, we've got hedgehogs, we've got birds, we've got badgers, we've got swans, we've got ducks in the lakes and rivers and things, and obviously we've got the other animals as well, like the dogs and the cats, the pets that people have. But unfortunately, litter can cause them problems, and that's what we'll be looking at today. So I'm going to go for a walk again like before and I'll see what I can find this time, but I hope you enjoy it anyway, making the most of the nice weather, and we will see what we can find. Hello again. I've only been walking a couple of minutes and this is what I've come across on the floor by the bench when I just had a quick sit down. I can see 2 packets of crisps there. Now, you might not think that dropping a couple of packets of crisps can cause major problems, but A, it does look really messy, and B, it can. As you think about, I don't know, a hedgehog or something like that, or a small animal, a small mouse or a small rat or anything like that, and you imagine what could happen, what do you think might happen to them if they try to explore what's in that crisp packet? Because often in crisp packets there's a bit of flavour just left, and that might encourage some small animals to go and explore. What do you think could happen? And I've got some pictures I will show after this clip that show you what sadly can happen. They're real pictures, what can happen to animals that do sometimes explore our litter. Now, lucky all the pictures you do see, so I'm going to show you quite a few. Okay, all the animals were okay, fortunately, but even so, I have seen times where sadly the animals haven't been okay. So have a think, what do you think could happen if a small animal tried to explore this crisp packet? And I'll show you some pictures. A nice little park here, and you can see there's a bench, and it's a really nice spot where people like to sit, have a picnic, and maybe have a quick bite to eat and a drink. But as you can see, if I just go in these bushes, there's a terrible lot of litter in there. As you can see, there we go, a nice bottle there. If we go further in, there's a cup again. It's like a takeaway there from McDonald's. You have to go in a bit. There we go. There's a cup there. There's another bottle through there. There's a tyre been thrown in there. There's more litter in there. There's another cup there. And it really is horrible, isn't it? It looks absolutely nasty and horrible. But it's really dangerous for our animals. Now, think about the cup that you saw. Let's have a look if there's any more. But think about the cup that you saw. There we go. There's another bottle. The cup you saw, the McDonald's one. Now, that might have a bit of drink left in it still. And actually, that may well attract animals again. Now, I've seen this a few times, and I'll show you a picture afterwards where an animal as a small animal has crawled into a cup like that someone's just thrown on the floor and then has got stuck in it. Now, this is your question for today, really. What 3 things is an animal not going to be able to do if it's stuck in a dark cup? What 3 things can't it do, and why could it put it in danger? Put in the live chat, what are the 3 things that an animal can't do? But anyway, it is such a shame, isn't it? 'Cause it's such a lovely area, it's such a lovely day, but it is just spoilt by people just not thinking. And as I go in again, there you go, more cups and things and drinks and glasses and all sorts that people have just thrown away. So I'm going to show you a picture again now. It's not a very nice one, of some animals that have got stuck and caught out because people have dropped cups and things on the floor. So have a look what you think. Hello again. I'm at a lovely part of this park now where there's a lovely river and a stream, as you can see, flowing down, and we get a lot of geese, ducks and swans in there. Unfortunately, I've come today and I can't see many, but there usually is lots in there. Now, one of the things I really hate to see is that people dropping litter in water. Now, do you think it's okay to drop litter in the water, the rivers, lakes or canals? So what some lazy people think is they think if I put it in there, it's just going to disappear, float away, sink to the bottom and not cause any problems at all. But that is absolutely not true. And in a minute, I'm going to show you some pictures of animals in the Tamworth area that have been affected by litter going in the water. Now, some of the pictures aren't very nice again, but I'm glad to say that all the animals were okay. But please, ever you're out and about, never be tempted to throw litter in the rivers, lakes and canals. It's not just going to disappear. It's not just going to sink to the bottom and float away. It will end up somewhere and it could cause danger for the environment, and particularly the animals and wildlife that live in there. So please don't do it. Right, I hope you all enjoyed today's video and made you think, because it is sometimes you do think, you know, just a crisp packet or a cup, is it really going to do that much harm? But hopefully you've seen from the pictures that I've showed you and what we've talked about that even the smallest object of litter thrown on the floor, as well as it doesn't look very nice, it can have a massive impact on the wildlife that live near us. Okay, and I'm sure we don't want that to happen. So, final thing, I've just sat down, had a bit of a break. I've got a packet of crisps here that I've just finished. I am now going to put it where I should be putting it, and I'm going to put it in the bin. There should be one around here somewhere. Here we go. So I'm going to do what I'm telling everyone else to do and lead a bit of an example there. I'm going to put this nicely in the bin. All done. So there we go. So, hope you've enjoyed the video again. Say, stay nice and safe. Enjoy the nice weather. All hope those of you back at school are all enjoying it as well. And I look forward to speaking to you again next week. Think about what we've said and try and keep your area nice and clean and tidy and put things in the bin. Take care. See you soon.
Thank you, Andy. The question is, what 3 important things might an animal not be able to do if it gets stuck in a crisp packet, cup or bottle? Now, over to Lisa talking about railway safety.
Hi, I'm Lisa Lewis and I'm a Community Safety Manager at Network Rail. Today I'd like to talk to you about how to keep yourself safe when on or near the railway. And I'd like to talk to you in particular about trespass. Trespass means going somewhere where you're not supposed to be. It is against the law to trespass on the railway, and you can be fined up to £1,000. The age of criminal responsibility for trespass on the railway is actually 11 years old. So if somebody is caught trespassing, not only can they receive a fine, but they can be arrested, taken to the local station, and it's not a very nice experience, and that will remain on your record. But the main reason why we don't want anybody trespassing on the railway is because we want you all to be safe. The railway can be a really dangerous place if you're not following the rules. The railway is electrified in a lot of places. That means that the overhead lines carry over 25,000 volts of electricity that is always switched on. The trains can travel up to 125 miles per hour. The train driver doesn't have a steering wheel, so if they see somebody trespassing on the train tracks, all they can do is press their emergency brake, and it can take them up to 20 football pitches to come to a stop. When at a station, please remember to always stand behind the yellow line and wait until your train arrives and stops before you board. And please leave the station after getting off the train. A train station is not somewhere where people should be hanging around, so please only be at the train station if you're waiting for a train. We're now going to go over to Jack and Ella, who are going to tell us a bit more about trespass on the railway.
The Track Pack. Staying safe near railways.
Hi, I'm Ella and this is my brother Jack.
We live near a busy railway line, which is pretty cool.
But railways can be dangerous too. We call ourselves the Track Pack because we like helping our friends and family learn how to be safe around railways. How about joining the Track Pack and learning how to stay out of danger? Come on!
When you take a trip on a train, you often see lots of signs around stations and alongside tracks to keep you safe. But even where there aren't signs, it's very important not to trespass. Trespassing means going into areas which aren't for passengers, something our cousin Callum seemed determined to do when he caught his train home. We were waiting with him on the platform.
So you guys are coming to ours next month?
Yeah, gives me a chance to get better at that game. We can have a proper battle.
It's so boring waiting for trains. I can't wait till I turn 17 next month. Then I can get driving lessons.
You seem to get around okay on your skateboard though.
Yeah, check out this kickflip.
You shouldn't skateboard around the station, Callum. You might hit someone. And look, you're way too close to the yellow line. What if a fast train passes? Its drag could pull you underneath.
But there aren't any trains due. Mine is next and it's 30 minutes away, according to the board.
Duh. Trains pass through without stopping, you know, and they travel really fast, like 125 miles an hour. It can take the length of 20 football pitches to stop at that speed.
Chill out, I'll just go down the end of the platform and back. Come on, I'll be on that train for ages.
Callum wouldn't listen to Ella. Not only did he skate to the end of the platform, but he began to go down the slope towards the track. Looks like the station staff have seen him. Come back, Callum.
Alright, sheesh, I wasn't anywhere near the track. It's just a load of gravel down there, nothing dangerous.
Not just gravel, and yes, it is dangerous. The track here has overhead cables to power the trains. It can jump if you get too close. And whilst the yellow line on the platform keeps you a safe distance away, you weren't even on the platform.
You're lucky the station staff haven't come over. It's breaking the law to trespass on the track.
Breaking the law? Just for going onto a bit of gravel?
Yes!
It's a wicked little ramp at the end though.
I don't think your mum would be very happy if I had to tell her you got hit by a train because of a wicked ramp. How is she going to trust you with a car when you can't even stick to the rules on a skateboard?
Alright, I get it. Come on, I'll treat you guys to a snack before I go. Least I can do for stopping me looking like an idiot.
It'll take more than a snack. Only kidding.
Hey, cheeky.
Luckily, Callum listened to us and so he stayed safe. It can be hard sometimes to stand up to older children or people we like, but rules around the railway are there for a reason. You could risk injury or even death by cycling or skateboarding around stations and platforms and getting too close to the track. And what's more, trespassing is against the law. Look for and obey the signs and stay safely on the platform behind the yellow lines and you'll be safe near railways.
The Track Pack. Staying safe near railways. Find out more and join the Track Pack at funkidslive.com/railways.
That was great to hear from Jack and Ella. So as a reminder, you must never ever trespass on the railway. The train tracks are for trains, they are not for people. Please never use it as a shortcut. Always use the bridge provided or walk the correct way round to the other side. If you see somebody trespassing or doing something they shouldn't near the railway, you can always text the British Transport Police on 61016. That's 61016. In an emergency, we always call 999. So that's it from me. So please remember, stay safe.
Thank you, Lisa and the Track Pack. The question is, how much can you be fined for trespassing on the railway? And now, over to Amy, talking about how to use a fire steel.
Hello and welcome to today's video. My name's Amy and I work for Staffordshire Wildlife Trust, and today's Wild Skills video is funded by Children in Need. Now today I'm going to teach you how to firelight, to create a spark using a fire steel today. Now it's very important that you only do this with a grown-up, and you make sure that you follow all my health and safety instructions as well. So what we're going to do is you make sure that you've got a baking tray on a nice level surface, and you make sure that you only strike towards the baking tray, not on your clothes, not towards anybody else, straight down into the baking tray. And we're not going to use any cotton wool or use anything today. We're just going to show you how to light it safely and create a spark as well. Okay, so this is your fire steel. So you have the striker, which you will use to rub along the stalk to create your spark. And you can see that there are two grooves here. This is where your thumbs go. And you place the striker flat on the stick, and I like to say opening it like a trapdoor, so it's at a 45-degree angle, and then you press down. Now if you press down too lightly, you're not going to make any spark. You need to press down quite firm. It's like you're trying to scrape the metal to create the spark. And always make sure that you lift the trapdoor away from you and never towards you. So lift the trapdoor away, strike down hard, and to create your spark. So there we go, we've shown you how to use a fire steel safely, so have a good practice and hopefully you'll get lots of sparks. Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Amy. The question is, what angle do you need to place the striker on the stalk to create your spark? And now, over to the GIST safety team to talk about road safety.
Hello and welcome to the GIST workshop. Over the next few weeks we are going to be talking about road safety and being safe around all types of vehicles, especially lorries. Hi, I'm John.
Hi, I'm Tracy.
Hi, I'm Paul.
Hi, I'm Chloe.
Hi, I'm Mervyn. Hi, I'm Ian. Hi, I'm Paul. Altogether, we make up the school's road safety team here at GIST at the Crewe Depot.
Today we are going to be talking about the Green Cross Code. Does anyone remember from last time what the Green Cross Code is? It is 3 words: stop, look and listen. Here we have a video of John crossing the road. Do we think that he is being safe? John certainly wasn't being very safe there. He should have used the Green Cross Code. Stop. Wait, take a step back from the edge of the curb. Look. Look for traffic all around and make sure that you can see clearly. Listen. Sometimes you can hear traffic before you can see it. Make sure to listen for sirens too. These are the things that you must remember when crossing the road. Wait until traffic is passed or there is a safe gap in the traffic. Make sure to walk straight across the road, not diagonally. Never run. Because what can happen when you run? You could fall over. Keep looking and listening as you cross. Always use the green cross code, even when you're on pedestrian crossings. And make sure to listen for emergency vehicle sirens in case there's someone coming very fast. Now we have two of our presenters, Ian and John, who have two songs to help you remember the green cross code.
Stop, look and listen before you cross the street. Stop, look and listen before you cross the street. Use your eyes and your ears before you use your feet. So just stop, look and listen before you cross the street. And hang on. Now, we're going to have a rap version of that. John, hat off, on backwards, it is a legal requirement. After 3, 1, 2, 3. We're the big boxers, we're here to teach you how to safely cross the street. If you want to safely cross a busy road, you're going to have to use the green cross code. But you stop, look, listen before you use your feet. That's the same way to cross the street. So use your eyes and your ears before you use your feet. Then you can safely walk across the street. So next time you want to safely cross a busy road, what are you going to use? The green cross code!
Thank you for watching our short road safety film. Remember that you're never too old to use the green cross code. Next time we'll be talking about pedestrian crossings.
So, from all the team,
stay safe and sound.
Thank you, team. The question is, why should you never run across the road? Thank you very much to our presenters this week. The answers to the questions are, the 3 things are breathe, eat and see. You can be fined £1,000 for trespassing on the railway. The angle is 45 degrees. And never run across the road because you may fall in the roadway. So that's it for this programme. It will be available on demand on the Learn Live website to view at any time and for you to share with others. Thank you for watching. We will see you all again next week.
Thank you, Ellie, for hosting this extremely important broadcast today. And like Ellie said, there are more of these broadcasts coming up over the next few weeks, so please keep watching the Learn Live channel. I just want to say another thank you to all the speakers from Tamworth Borough Council, Staffordshire Wildlife Trust and Network Rail, including GIST. The tips that you've given us today are so valuable to know, so thank you. And as Ellie said, if you have any questions for our speakers today, please continue to leave them in the live chat next to the video player and they'll get back to you as soon as possible. So that's all from us today. See you next week with more speakers from Staffordshire Fire and Rescue partners and agencies. You can also watch all the previous videos from the Safe and Sound broadcast on demand below the video player. And don't forget to subscribe to Learn Live and check out all our upcoming broadcasts by clicking the subscribe button at the top of the page. In the meantime, stay safe and stay connected.
this live chat facility tutorial. We have had a lot of questions recently about the chat facility and how to use it, so let's get into the video. The chat facility is built with students in mind, with a tool that doesn't need to be parent or teacher led. Each of our pages are linked to the person behind the broadcast, even after it's finished, so you can always ask your questions and get a response about the broadcast. So, let's have a look at how to use the chat facility. To use the chat facility, the first thing to do is to type your comment or question into the chat box. You can now enter your screen name. Your screen name will show when you type your question or comment. Now you will see the chat facility ask for your email address. As I mentioned before, each of our pages are linked to people from the organisation who can reply to your questions. You can enter your email address, which will not be shared with anyone, to get a direct response from the people behind the broadcast. If you do not want a direct response, then click the button at the bottom. People behind the broadcast can still respond to you if you don't provide your email address. This just means you may have to come back to the page to check the response. To type your question, simply click on the chat box. You will then see two symbols appear. The @ symbol will mean your comment or question will be posted publicly for others to see. The email symbol means your comment or question can be sent directly to the person of your choice from the list that will appear. You can now speak to the people behind the broadcast and ask any questions you may have, or check out our partner pages to see the companies we work with who you can speak to right now about their current vacancies. You can also check out our careers page, which connects you to employers. Our live chat service is linked 24/7 to employers from a wide range of sectors, all waiting to hear from you. You can leave a question about how to produce a professional CV or how to prepare for interviews, anything work related, and one of our businesses will respond to you directly. You can also access a wide variety of live interactive broadcasts and video on demand with the live chat support on all pages. Now this bit is for the parents, guardians and teachers. The best bit about the live chat facility is that it is completely moderated, so you don't need to worry if your young person leaves a silly comment, as it will only show on their screen and no one else's. Another great thing about the chat facility is that it is GDPR protected, so no information is shared with anyone else. We will protect all email addresses and will never share personal information of the young people. If you have any questions about the chat facility or the Learn Live channel, please use the email us icon at the top of the page. Thank you, stay safe and stay tuned.